Lou Lipsitz, Skinny Poem. Skinny poem, all your ribs showing, even without a deep breath. Thin legs, rotted with disease, live here on this page, barely making it like the mass of mankind.
Henry Braun, These Days, for James Lewison. These days, the sunlight almost seems total. A few men, trees, stand between heaven and earth. In the light of their shadows, we others are reading still messages the dead have stopped sending. These days of almost fatal sunlight. Gwendolyn Brooks, We Real Cool. The pool players 7 at the Golden Shovel. We real cool, we left school, we lurked late, we strike straight, we sing sin, we thin gin, we jazz June, we die soon.
Etheridge Night, the idea of ancestry.
Taped to the wall of my cell are 47 pictures. 47 black faces. My father, mother, grandmothers, one dead. Grandfathers, both dead. Brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, cousins, first and second. Nieces and nephews. They stare across the space at me, sprawling on my bunk. I know their dark eyes. They know mine. I know their style. They know mine. I'm all of them. They are all of me. They are farmers. I am a thief. I am me. They are thee. I have at one time or another been in love with my mother, one grandmother, 2 sisters, 2 aunts, one went to the asylum, and 5 cousins. I am now in love with a 7-year-old niece. She sends me letters written in large block print, and her picture is the only one that smiles at me. I have the same name as one grandfather, 3 cousins, 3 nephews, and 1 uncle. The uncle disappeared when he was 15. Just took off and caught a freight, they say. He's discussed each year when the family has a reunion. He causes uneasiness in the clan. He is an empty space. My father's mother, who is 93, and who keeps the family Bible with everybody's birth dates and death dates in it, always mentions him. There is no place in her Bible for whereabouts unknown. Each fall, the graves of my grandfathers call me. The brown hills and red gullies of Mississippi send out their electric messages, galvanizing my genes. Last year, like a salmon quitting the cold ocean, leaping and bucking up his birth stream, I hitchhiked my way from L.A. with 16 caps in my pocket and a monkey on my back. And I almost kicked it with the kinfolks. I walked barefooted in my grandmother's backyard. I smelled the old land and the woods. I sipped corn whiskey from fruit jars with the men. I flirted with the women. I had a ball till the caps ran out and my habit came down. That night I looked at my grandmother and split. My guts was screaming for junk. But I was almost contented. I had almost caught up with me. The next day in Memphis, I cracked a croaker's crib for a fix. This year, there was a gray stone wall damming my stream. And when the falling leaves stir my jeans, I pace my cell or flop on my bunk and stare at 47 black faces across the space. I am all of them. They are all of me. I am me. They are thee. And I have no suns to float in the space between.
Sidney Goldfarb, Know How. I want to do it, but I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know who's listening or watching or what view from inside me will come back to haunt me. I want to do it. I want to make and be made. I want to see no distinction. There is a war. There are hungry bodies. I am overfed and dying from a wound of silence. In the night in my bed, in the day in the empty sunlit room, something flows out of me. I can't hold back. It is a message for you and you alone. I don't know who's listening or watching or what form words should take. I want to do it, but I don't do it. I don't know how to do it. This is the message. I am a man of deep affection, and I want to enter the world. Please, teach me.
Kenneth Patchen. Nice day for a lynching. The bloodhounds look like sad old judges in a strange court. They point their noses at the Negro, jerking in the tight noose, his feet spread crow-like above these honorable men who laugh as he chokes. I don't know this black man. I don't know these white men. But I know that one of my hands is black and one white. I know that one part of me is being strangled while another part horribly laughs. Until it changes, I shall be forever killing and be killed. Joshua Beasley. This is a black room. This is a black room. And all the people here are black too. There are windows on the wall, but no one's going to open them. All the white people in the world are waiting outside this room, and most of us don't want to look at them or hear them saying, "Shine my shoes, boy," or "Scrub my floor, woman." I'm willing to open the window to see if they've changed, but the black people in this room might kill me. Elton Hilabu Ishak. Theme Brown Girl. For Gloria. I have watched you dancing in the streets of Dakar, robed in soft darkness, bending over steel-edged counters in Detroit, face slick and hot with kitchen sweat. I have known your brown lips in the sullen Congo when your world was black. How beautiful you were there, breasted with Africa. But your new world is white, and you are mistress in another's house. And when they called you nigger, were you not afraid? And did the spit and whips and clubs and scars of hatred a nation heaved on your head, did they edge your beauty? I have watched you in Haiti, crowned with bandana and bathing in coolness, and in Harlem, lonely on midnight corners, and in Watts, swollen with the sickness of slums and poverty. Yet, I still see Africa in your eyes. Girl with the spirit of a leopard, tell the world that time will never mark your face. Anne Halley, autograph book, Prophecy. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes Annie with the baby carriage. That's as dirty as kids got back in my 4th grade. Lelia and Junie blushed and giggled, had to put their heads down hysterical, run to the basement, then all the way home. Yes, you will. No, I won't. Yes, you will. Won't, will, won't. Won't what? I can admit now, I didn't get it. Couldn't read between the lines. Literal-minded, repressed. However, we all finally got it. We're all hitched carriages, typewriter, baby buggy, station wagon, you name it, pushing on between the canned and the frozen, from living bra to winding sheet. There's a joke there somewhere. Get it? Marge Piercy, metamorphosis into bureaucrat. My hips are a desk. From my ears hang chains of paper clips. Rubber bands form my hair. My breasts are wells of mimeograph ink. My feet bear casters. Buzz, click. My head is a badly organized file. My head is a switchboard where crossed lines crackle. My head is a wastebasket of worn ideas. Press my fingers, and in my eyes appear credit and debit. Zing! Tinkle. My navel is a reject button. From my mouth issue canceled reams, swollen, heavy, rectangular. I am about to be delivered of a baby Xerox machine. File me under W because I once was a woman. Anne Sexton, the abortion. Somebody who should have been born is gone. Just as the earth puckered its mouth, each bud puffing out from its knot, I changed my shoes and then drove south, up past the Blue Mountains where Pennsylvania humps on endlessly, wearing like a crayon cat its green hair. Its roads sunken in like a gray washboard, where in truth the ground cracks evilly, a dark socket from which the coal has poured. Somebody who should have been born is gone. The grass as bristly and stout as chives, and me wondering when the ground would break, and me wondering how anything fragile survives. Up in Pennsylvania, I met a little man, not Rumpelstiltskin, but tall and tall. He took the fullness that love began. Returning north, even the sky grew thin, like a high window looking nowhere. The road was as flat as a sheet of tin. Somebody who should have been born is gone. Yes, woman, such logic will lead to loss without death. Or say what you meant, you coward. This baby that I bleed. Susan Sutheim, for witches. Today, I lost my temper. Temper, when one talks of metal, means make strong, perfect. Temper for humans means angry, irrational, bad. Today, I found my temper. I said, you step on my head for 27 years, you step on my head. And though I have been trained to excuse you for your inevitable clumsiness, today I think I prefer my head to your clumsiness. Today I began to find myself. Tomorrow, perhaps, I will begin to find you.
David Young, Summer, A Far-Off War.
All afternoon I have driven around on back roads, thinking of Vietnam. These huge summer clouds are like strange moods. They do not understand their shadows. This is a country of railroad lilies, brown, delicate rabbits. How is it Americans always bring death? Every few miles, a mashed skunk, some piece of a pheasant, my windshield stippled with insects. And I think maybe thousands of us are driving aimlessly along back roads, hating our war.
Randall Jarrell, The Death of the Ball Turret Gunner. From my mother's sleep, I fell into the state, and I hunched in its belly till my wet fur froze. 6 miles from earth, loosed from its dream of life, I woke to black flak and the nightmare fighters. When I died, they washed me out of the turret with a hose. William Leo Coquay, Insects. Like soldiers they come, but for food, crawling on the stone floor, enemies. I crush them calmly with my thumb, and at their dying do not even go mad. The biggest leap out of their skin, spoiling the white squares with their blood. In the air, bombers look at men and feel as little when they press down, a brief confusion to be left behind. But the shadows burn to the stone. If you would learn to kill, it is easier to kill what is small.
Denise Levertov. What were they like? Questions and answers. 1. Did the people of Vietnam use lanterns of stone? 2. Did they hold ceremonies to reverence the opening of buds? 3. Were they inclined to rippling laughter? 4. Did they use bone and ivory, jade and silver for ornament? 5. Had they an epic poem? 6. Did they distinguish between speech and singing? 1. Sir, their light hearts turn to stone. It is not remembered whether in gardens stone lanterns illumined pleasant ways. 2. Perhaps they gathered once to delight in blossom, but after the children were killed, there were no more buds. 3. Sir, laughter is bitter to the burned mouth. 4. A dream ago, perhaps. Ornament is for joy. All the bones were charred. 5. It is not remembered. Remember, most were peasants. Their life was in rice and bamboo. When peaceful clouds were reflected in the paddies and the water buffalo stepped surely along terraces, maybe fathers told their sons old tales. When bombs smashed the mirrors, there was time only to scream. 6. There is an echo yet, it is said, of their speech, which was like a song. It is reported their singing resembled the flight of moths in moonlight. Who can say? It is silent now.
Robert Bly, Counting Small-Boned Bodies. Let's count the bodies over again. If we could only make the bodies smaller, the size of skulls, we could make a whole plain white with skulls in the moonlight. If we could only make the bodies smaller, maybe we could get a whole year's kill in front of us on a desk. If we could only make the bodies smaller, we could fit a body into a finger ring for a keepsake forever.
Raymond Patterson, When I Awoke.
When I awoke, she said, "Lie still. Do not move. They are all dead," she said. "Who?" I said. "The world," she said. "I'd better go," I said. "Why?" she said. "What good will it do?" "I have to see," I said.
Gwendolyn Brooks. Malcolm X for Dudley Randall. Original. Ragged round. Rich robust. He had the hawkman's eyes. We gasped. We saw the maleness raking out and making guttural the air and pushing us to walls. And in a soft and fundamental hour, a sorcery devout and vertical beguiled the world. He opened us, who was a key, who was a man. Robin Morgan, The Invisible Woman. The invisible woman in the asylum corridor sees others quite clearly, including the doctor who patiently tells her she isn't invisible, and pities the doctor who must be mad to stand there in the asylum corridor, talking and gesturing to nothing at all. The invisible woman has great compassion, so after a while, she pulls on her body like a rumpled glove and switches on her voice to comfort the elated doctor with words. Better to suffer this prominence than for the poor young doctor to learn he himself is insane. Only the strong can know that.
James Tate, Success Comes to Cow Creek. I sit on the tracks 100 feet from the water. Gerald is inching toward me, as grim, slow, and determined as a season, because he has no trade and wants none. It's been 9 months since I last listened to his fate, but I know what he will say. He's the fire hydrant of the underdog. When he reaches my point above the creek, he sits down without salutation and spits profoundly out past the edge and peeks for meaning in the ripple it brings. He scowls, he speaks. When you walk down any street, you see nothing but coagulations of shit and vomit, and I'm sick of it. I suggest suicide. He prefers murder and spits again for the sake of all the great devout losers. A conductor's horn concerto breaks the air, and we, two doomed pennies on the track, shove off and somersault like anesthetized fleas, ruffling the ideal locomotive poised on the water with our light, dry bodies. Gerald shouts terrifically as he sails downstream like a young man with a destination. I swim toward shore as fast as my boots will allow, as always, neglecting to drown.
Adrian Rich, in the evening. 3 hours, chain-smoking words, and you move on. We stand on the porch, 2 archaic figures, a woman and a man. The old masters, the old sources, haven't a clue what we're about, shivering here in the half-dark 60s. Our minds hover in a famous impasse and cling together. Your hand grips mine like a railing on an icy night. The wall of the house is bleeding firethorn. The moon, cracked every which way, pushes steadily on. Anne Halley, each day I must relearn. Each day I must relearn my ABC of crime. Some committed by me, some for me, in my time. Accused must answer, where were you when, whose place was taken, days you were born. Born from pits, on graves we make our beds and lie guiltily with our loves, afraid, afraid to die. Criminal, murdered, maimed, mowed down, dead, make room, move over, pass and be buried. Each day I must relearn my ABC of crime. Accused, born criminal, live in my time. Gwendolyn Brooks, The Sermon on the Warp Land. The fact that we are black is our ultimate reality. Ron Karenga. And several strengths from drowsiness campaigned, but spoke in single sermon on the warpland, and went about the warpland saying, no, my people, black and black, revile the river, say that the river turns, and turn the river. Say that our something in double pod contains seeds for the coming hell and health together. Prepare to meet, sisters, brothers, the brash and terrible weather, the pains, the bruising, the collapse of bestials, idols. But then, oh then, the stuffing of the hulls, the seasoning of the perilously sweet, the health, the heralding of the clear obscure. Build now your church, my brothers, sisters. Build never with brick, nor corten, nor with granite. Build with lithe love, with love like lion eyes, with love like morning rise, with love like black, our black, luminously indiscreet, complete, continuous.
Floyce Alexander, Los Angeles. They are herding our hearts down freeways. The architects of America say, this is how it will be in another century. We will join with armies of geese in the cities of weeds, living on grass, in love with our own dung. Clarence Major, air. Breathing, the breath, clearance, the air, the breathing air, the math of the air, the figures of breathing, the mind, the science of things, the men, the life, ring, repeat, in, out, breathing life men give to air, the breath, clearance, a clear, convincing math of things, out in the country, trees, some irregular plants, not here, now. This city of destruction to breathing, to hands even, eyelids that cover the sounds, to lips that pave the pavement of flesh to the air, to the way we walk out in the country to get air, the kind of hands that touch, break, sink into soft mud out there under eyelids.
Muriel Rukeyser, this morning. Waking this morning, a violent woman in the violent day, laughing. Past the line of memory along the long body of your life, in which move childhood, youth, your lifetime of touch, eyes, lips, chest, belly, sex, legs, to the waves of the sheet. I look past the little plant on the city windowsill to the tall towers, book shapes crushed together in greed, the river flashing, flowing, corroded, the intricate harbor and the sea, the wars, the moon, the planets, all who people space in the sun, visible, invisible. African violets in the light, breathing in a breathing universe. I want strong peace and delight, the wild good. I want to make my touch poems, to find my morning, to find you entire, alive, moving among the anti-touch people. I say across the waves of the air to you, today, once more, I will try to be non-violent. One more day, this morning, waking the world away in the violent day. Denise Levertov, living. The fire in leaf and grass, so green it seems. Each summer, the last summer. The wind blowing, the leaves shivering in the sun. Each day, the last day. A red salamander, so cold and so easy to catch, dreamily moves his delicate feet and long tail. I hold my hand open for him to go. Each minute, the last minute.
Don L. Lee, a poem to complement other poems.
Change. Life, if you were a match, I would light you into something beautiful. Change. Change. For the better into a real together thing. Change. From a make-believe nothing on cornmeal and water. Change. Change. From the last drop to the first. Maxwell House did. Change. Change was a programmer for IBM. Thought him was a brown computer. Change. Colored is something written on southern outhouses. Change. Greyhound did. I mean, they got restrooms on buses. Change. Change. Change, nigger. Saw a nigger hippie. Him wanted to be different. Changed. Saw a nigger liberal. Him wanted to be different. Changed. Saw a nigger conservative. Him wanted to be different. Changed. Niggers, don't you know that niggers are different? Change. A double change. Nigger wanted a 00 in front of his name. A license to kill. Niggers are licensed to be killed. Change. A Negro. Something pigs eat. Change. I say change into a real black righteous aim, like I don't play saxophone, but that don't mean I don't dig train. Change. Change. Hear you coming, but your steps are too loud. Change. Even a lamppost changes, nigga. Change. Stop being an instant yes machine. Change. Niggas don't change, they just grow. That's a change. Bigger and better niggers. Change into a necessary black self. Change like a gas meter gets higher. Change like a blues song talking about a righteous tomorrow. Change like a tax bill getting higher. Change like a good sister getting better. Change like knowing wood will burn. Change. Know the real enemy. Change. Change, nigga. Standing on the corner, thought him was cool. Him still standing there, it's wintertime, him cool. Change. Know the real enemy. Change. Him wanted to be a TV star. Him is. 10 o'clock news. Wanted, wanted. Nigga stole some lemon and lime popsicles. Thought them was diamonds. Change, nigga, change. Know the real enemy. Change. Is you is or is you ain't change. Now, change. For the better, change. Read a change. Live a change. Read a black poem. Change. Be the real people. Change. Black poems will change. Know the real enemy. Change. Know the real enemy. Change your enemy. Change. Know the real change. Know the real enemy. Change. Change. Know the real enemy. The real enemy. The real enemy. Change your the enemies. Change your change. Your change. Your enemy. Change your enemy. Know the real enemy. The world's enemy. Know them. Know them. Know them. The real enemy. Change your enemy. Change your change. Change your enemy. Change your change your mind, nigga.
Don L. Lee, Hero. A poem for Brig General Frederick Davison, if he can dig it. Little Willie, a hero in the American tradition, a black hero. He received the Bronze Star, which read meritorious action. His mama had to look the word up. Good Conduct Medal, Combat Infantry Badge, Purple Heart, National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Ribbon, and some others I can't even spell. Little Willie, a hero in the American tradition, a black hero. He received his medals posthumously.
A.B. Spellman, Tomorrow the Heroes.
Tomorrow the heroes will be named Willie. Their hair will be the bushes that grow everywhere the beast walks. America is white. America is not. White is not the slow kerneling of seed in earth like the willies, the grass, the roots that grapple the beast in the swamps. The Willie Kong are earth walking, Ile Ife, succor the Willie Kong. There is no other hope.